Here we are on a Monday night, and we have Tropical Storm Erin that formed just west of the Cabo Verde Islands and is heading to the west. We're going to talk about that, and we're going to put things in context because it's 3,200 miles away. So, so there's that. It looks like we're going to see some 90-degree highs going forward, maybe for the rest of the week and into the weekend in parts of the Northeast and Northern Mid-Atlantic states. So we will deal with that. There's some rain going on in parts of the Southeast. All of that and much more on tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. You can support the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast by simply shopping on Amazon using our referral link that's pinned to the top of the chat board. It's also on the descriptor of this podcast, right under the title on YouTube. And all you do is search and shop, get whatever it is you're going to get. Amazon throws us back a little bit of coin for sending you there. It's a very easy way, and it really really helps to keep the live podcast commercial free, and we like to keep it that way. So thank you for those of you who have supported us via the referral link on Amazon. And if you need a weather station, Tempest by Weatherflow is a great one. I have one, and I love it. Get the revolutionary Tempest weather system. Join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link for this is also on the descriptor to this podcast underneath the title on YouTube. And if you use the coupon code Summer 2025, you'll get the shirt that Joe Rayo is wearing.
Aloha. No, you won't get the shirt, but you'll get 10% off.
That's right.
Yes.
So everything go well tonight? You had dinner with your friend?
Yes. In fact, we just got back literally like 4 minutes ago.
Oh. Well, very good. What did you eat?
I had penne with meatballs.
Oh, how enchanting. That's very good.
Yes.
Good. Well, that's good. How hot did you get to today? How high?
I really can't tell you. I haven't looked at the weather station and see what it said, but the car said on the way out there on Interstate 84, 95, but I'm not sure how reliable that is.
Ooh, but you definitely got above 90.
Oh yeah, I think we did. It was a hot and relatively dry day. I say relative in the sense of dew points. I mean, it was nothing like some of the oppressive days we've seen this summer, but you could tell
93. You got to 93.
Aha, Mrs. Rayo, 93.
I knew she'd pull through.
Yes, exactly.
And
we were 93 yesterday, so it's been hot.
I did get to over 80 today here. I got to 83.3. Yesterday it was 80.6, 81.1 the day before, 83.1 the day before that, 81.7 the day before that. I have not had a 90-degree day here all month so far. And in fact, most of the time it's been in the 70s or even the 60s. So I can't really complain too much about the weather here in North Georgia. Tropical Storm Erin has formed, and it's very, very small. That's the one thing I can say from the satellite. It's very small.
Well, it's but it has not yet evolved into once we get to, let's say, 48 to 72 hours, it's going to be going into an area that is going to be very favorable for development, and that's when we expect it to swell, so to speak.
You know what's funny? Because I was watching ABC News with David Muir. I love how he sits, and he always has his hands like the shoulders out and his hands like this. Every single show, same black. He must have 5 black suits exactly alike. But the one thing that struck me tonight, because they had Ginger Z doing something on Erin, and I was thinking, back in our day, you would not even hear about a hurricane on a network news show. Maybe when they got to a hurricane watch, okay,
Right.
maybe
Right.
if they got to a hurricane watch. But you never heard anything about something that was was close to 3,000 miles away or 2,500 miles or whatever the distance is.
Well, this is what you call the news media looking or searching for trouble.
Oh,
And those,
absolutely. Oh, no question. No question.
and also trying to, bring blood pressures up, so to
Right.
speak, especially if you live somewhere along the Atlantic seaboard.
Right.
That's
It's always where is the next apocalypse?
yes.
And yeah, and then if it turns out not to be an apocalypse, it doesn't matter because there'll be another apocalypse to look forward to in short order. So anyway, it was I kind of knew what the answer to the question was, but I had to just sort of air my grievances here as I like to do from time to time. Every Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. Welcome to everybody on the chat board, and welcome to those of you who are lurking in the background on tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. As I said, we're here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. Fridays and Saturdays are off days unless there's something going on, in which case, if we add a show, we will notify you via notifications, which if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can turn those notifications on, and then you won't ever miss us. And of course, if you do like the show, hit the like button. So on that note, what say we begin, shall we?
Surely.
All right, so I'm going to start off with we'll do Erin, and this is the 5 p.m. advisory. There are 6 hours apart, these advisories. There's no intermediate advisory that will be coming out at 8 or would have come out at 8 o'clock because there are no tropical storm warnings up or hurricane warnings up. Otherwise, if there were, you'd get an intermediate advisory. So it's at 17.4 north, 30.3 west, which is about 300 miles to the west of the Cabo Verde Islands. Top winds are 45 miles an hour, moving west at 21. It was made a tropical storm this morning at 11 a.m., and the forecast really has not changed very much, very little. It's the same idea with a west course and maybe even going a little south of due west come Wednesday, and then becoming a hurricane sometime Wednesday night or Thursday, and then perhaps reaching major hurricane status by Friday night or early on Saturday. One of the issues at the moment, unlike last year, Joe, the water temperatures out in the tropical Atlantic are not very warm. The water temperatures are actually at around 26, 27 C, where where it is right now, and that's not enough really to get it to strengthen. It's enough to get it to strengthen some, but to get it to hurricane force and beyond, you really need to get to 28, 29 degrees C water, and you're not going to get that until it gets, say, west of 50. But in the meantime, when you look at this, these are 5 degrees. So basically, the boxes are 300 nautical miles by 300 nautical miles. So you can see how small this system is in terms of the core, which on the latest loop is expanding rather nicely. But it's a very, very small system in terms of its diameter and probably will stay that way until it gets further out into the Atlantic. And there are some issues here with regards to some Saharan dust that's around. There's also some dry air that's around as well. So it's going to be dealing with these issues over the next couple of days. Uh, I don't know that anything has really changed in terms of trying to figure out where this is going to go in the longer term because today's model guidance was what it was, and I will show it to you. There are still a lot of variables around that we have to consider this far out. So at the meantime, I guess, Joe, all we're going to be doing is just sort of watching this from day to day and see what kind of changes we see in terms of the upper air atmosphere going forward.
Somebody brought up last night on our show Hurricane Bell, and this today or yesterday is the 49th anniversary when that particular hurricane made landfall on Long Island and cut through Long Island Sound and into southern New England. And what you're seeing on the screen right now is basically what Hurricane Bell looked like when it made landfall. It was a tight little storm. Somebody was asking if Bell was among one of the great storms in terms of barometric pressure and wind. No, by no way or means. I think the top winds for Bell or something like 110 miles an hour. But if you look at what you see on the screen right now with Erin, that basically was like what Bell was. It was a very tight little storm that came northward from the Bahamas and impacted a part of the tri-state metropolitan area. Whereas Erin itself is expected to be far more potent as we move along, as it gets into a more favorable atmospheric environment and also warmer water temperatures. It is expected, let's say, some of the models have been suggesting that in about 7, 8, 9 days, it will become possibly one of those Cat 3 or Cat 4 storms. I wouldn't even be surprised if it made it to Cat 5, but
Well, let's not go down that particular road yet. It's got to
well,
get
yeah,
let it
I
get
could
to a
just
Cat one first.
I could just hear somebody saying right now, "Oh, Joe Reyes says," and he puts it on his Facebook page. Joe Reyes said that it might become a Cat 5. No, what I'm saying is that it's going to become a lot stronger and a lot larger than it is right now. But that's to be expected because again, over time, as it moves in that west and eventually west northwesterly track, it will get into a more favorable area for intensification.
These are the model plots from the hurricane tracking models from 12Z today, 8 a.m. Eastern time. There'll be actually there should have been an 18Z. Let me see if I freshen this up. You know what I'm going to do? Just give me a moment here. I'm going to look. Sometimes, actually, at least on tropical tidbits, what happens is when they go to become tropical storms, actually from a wave to a depression to a storm, they change the URL. So here's the 18Z. So I got the latest one up. The 0Z one won't be out for another hour or so. But the tracking models are very consistent. I mean, they do have a spread from south to north, but they all take it out to about 60 degrees west and then start to turn more northwestward. And just about all of the models, except for two, get it to the west of 65 degrees west. And if you look on the far left, going up between the north of from 30 to 35, there's a little dot there just east of the longitude line. That's Bermuda. So all the hurricane tracking models right now are hooking this to the right, uh, well to the east of the East Coast. And as far as the intensity models are concerned, and I think I'm going to have to get a new one of this too. So just give me a moment. Just 1 second here. So here we go. So there's the intensity guidance. So this is the 18Z intensity guidance. The vast majority of them bring it to a Cat 3, and that's in about 4 days, a little less than 4 days. One has it as a Cat 4, but again, the vast majority have it as a Cat 3. I think that's probably where this goes. At least it will get to a Cat 3. Now, whether it gets beyond that is probably going to depend on how much shear is going on, what's going on with the ridges and troughs, and all the rest of it. So for now, I think that's probably where we're going to, kind of go with this. Now, I do also want to just show you these are the some of the GFS ensemble tracks, and you can see that the mean track in black is well to the right. You have a group of tracks that are to the west, but even the westernmost track is still offshore. And then you have a bunch of tracks that are to the east of that. And while I don't have a map that shows the European, Joe, the European ensembles, I think only 3 of them brought Erin. There's 54 members of it, so 51 of the 54 members keep it offshore, which basically says there's a 94% chance that Erin is not going to have impact on the United States directly. It's going to kick up the surf, but at least for now, from what we're seeing, this is what the models are telling us.
And we'll see as time wears on where this is all going to go. But somebody posted on the chat board that they had the impression that it might be a fish storm, and it might very well. But you really can't say much beyond 5 days because so many things will change. Even the slightest little or most subtle change in the upper level winds could have a major impact on exactly where a tropical cyclone is going to go uh, many days down the road. So we'll see.
Right. And I'm just going to show you the upper air because this was off the 18Z run, and actually the 12Z Canadian was very similar. And the European, to some extent, had this idea. Certainly, I think the the AI version of the European. Um, so the 18Z model shifted to the left, and what it's doing is it's responding to, you've got this big upper low that's in Labrador. The whole trough is pulling out, but it leaves like a renegade little shortwave trough from western Pennsylvania down into western Virginia and Tennessee. And the storm responds to that by going more to further west before it makes the full turn. I mean, it still winds up being offshore, but it would be a close call if this were the case. But I think ultimately it's going to be all about the ridge. If you look at just backing this up, there's this strong upper high in the northeastern Gulf of Mexico that extends all the way east out into the central Atlantic, and then it pretty much holds its course until we get to about Saturday or Sunday. And you see there's a little opening that between the two highs just kind of split in half. There's a weakness that develops in the middle there, and Erin tries to exploit that weakness and make the turn. I think that would be, that to me is probably where the most logical outcome with all of this. But there are still variables in the upper atmosphere that we have to consider, and we certainly are going to want to wait at least another 3 or 4 days or more before we can have any kind of confidence about where this is ultimately going to wind up.
Well, we'll see. Again, I'll say last night it's not worth you know sweating over right now because really it's still many days away. But I guess, and again, my main thoughts are compared to the first four tropical systems we've seen, which were just a drop in the bucket and really didn't do all that much. The fact that the many of the models, the short and the mid-range models, are suggesting this could become a very intense weather system is what's making a lot of people on social media very excited. But again, there's no need to get excited if you really don't know where the darn thing is going to go, much more.
Right. Exactly. So you know what? We'll put it. We did this off the top. Just to kind of get it over with, and now we can take a look at what's going on across the country, which is not a whole heck of a lot. We still have some air quality issues though, in northern New Jersey, Long Island, the Hudson Valley, Connecticut, and into Massachusetts, and also it's been many days with those air quality issues across Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, all due to the Canada wildfire smoke. We have heat advisories up in Maine. We have a few flash flood warnings in east central North Carolina. We have flood watches and some flash flood warnings from north central Texas, northeastward through Oklahoma, and then three flash flood, looks like two in southeast Kansas and one small area in southwest Missouri, and heat advisories and some extreme heat issues for the West, particularly the inland West, in Southern California, in Nevada. Might as well check the Phoenix temperature. We haven't done that in a while, so let's do that. Phoenix right now, we did this last week, is a 109 with a dew point of 47 with a relative humidity of 12% and a heat index of 105. So that's not terrible. And where else can we look? How about Las Vegas? Because they're under an extreme heat warning. Uh, they're 103 with a dew point of 28, so 7% relative
Oh,
humidity and a heat index of 97. Well, that's not terrible.
no, it's not.
No, it really isn't.
What's the wind?
In Vegas,
Yeah.
hold on and I'll check. Just a moment. Let's see. These were the forecasts, by the way. Las Vegas was forecast to go to 110. 10. Today's Monday, so 109. Death Valley was supposed to go to 120. Barstow was supposed to go 109. Lake Havasu City was supposed to go to 114. And Pahrump, I don't know how do you pronounce this, Pahrump. Pahrump.
Harump,
All right.
harump.
108. So Vegas right now is on the wind is northwest at 5.
Oh, that's nothing. That's
And
nothing. I
and the
was in Las
Valley of,
Vegas. Yeah,
go
go ahead.
ahead. No, you go.
Well, I was in Las Vegas in 2012 when it was like 107 degrees. Winds were blowing at like 25 to 30 miles an hour. I felt, Joe, like I was walking into a 1800-watt hair dryer.
I'm
It was,
sure.
it was horrible. Yeah.
Well, Death Valley, for those of you who are interested, is 122 with a west southwest wind at 4, a dew point of 38, and a humidity of 6%. And the forecast for tonight, Joe, is clear skies with a low of 96. Sunny tomorrow. Oh, sunny and hot. They use the word hot. A high near 122. Tomorrow night, clear, low 97. Wednesday, sunny and hot, high 121. Oh, you better get a comforter for Wednesday night, clear with a low of 95. In fact,
You
it
know,
doesn't, I was
there's
going to
some
say, it
places that
doesn't go below 90 at night until Friday night when the forecast low is 89.
I just happened to be looking over the last few days at climatological records and conditions in Australia. And in the wintertime, which for them is now, actually, from June to September, there are places inland from what is known as the Kimberley district. Their temperatures can go from near 40 Celsius during the day. 40 Celsius, Joe, is something like 105 degrees.
By
They
104.
go, they go like 104, 105 during the day, and they fall rapidly, in some cases down to near zero at night or in the pre-dawn hours. Can you imagine seeing a temperature drop of something like
Near zero,
60 to
near
70
zero, near zero Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Celsius?
Oh, so 32.
Yeah, but that's still,
Yeah,
my God.
that'd be interesting to experience. And wake up in the morning where you're wearing a coat, and then by afternoon you've stripped yourself bare naked
Well, I don't know if you can
with
get that.
sunscreen, of course.
Yeah.
Here's a satellite loop tonight, which is showing some scattered showers and thunderstorms in parts of the southeast, which has been the case for days now, many days. In fact, there's some thunderstorms to my south that are sort of creeping northward. I'm going to see if I get into those tonight. Seeing a bit of a line of storms forming across Oklahoma into southwest Missouri, and this is where we have the flood watches ongoing. And there's some thunderstorms that are crossing eastern Michigan. Those are weakening. And then there's some other thunderstorms coming into the Dakotas and northwest Minnesota, as well as down into parts of New Mexico and even into Arizona. And we can see them here on the radar. I'll give this a quick refresh. So here's that area, Joe, getting a bunch of flash flood warnings up now. One around Oklahoma City, and then continuing northeast from there into Missouri. I don't know what interstate that is, but um, the rain, the thunderstorms, and the flooding seem to be all along that interstate going up into the state of Missouri. A couple of severe thunderstorm warnings have just popped up in southwest Missouri, as well as in northwest Texas and in parts of New Mexico. Here's the line in Minnesota, where we're seeing a severe thunderstorm warning pop up there, and some scattered showers and storms back up into the Dakotas. The Storm Prediction Center is on a marginal risk kick here for the next several days. There are no severe thunderstorm watches up, but we've got marginal risk for isolated severe thunderstorms from eastern North Dakota, northwest Minnesota, northwest Missouri, a good chunk of Oklahoma, northwest Texas, and into eastern New Mexico. Tomorrow, day 2, so this is Tuesday into Wednesday, we have a marginal risk covering Michigan, northern Indiana, northwest Ohio, and extreme northeastern Illinois, as well as northeast Wisconsin and into the upper peninsula of Michigan. And then day 3, we have a marginal risk over the Dakotas. Day 3 is Wednesday into Thursday. That is the first day that the East Coast from Maine to Florida is under in the general thunderstorm area. And I think that's the first day where I put in the chance that there could be some scattered thunderstorms. Probably best places for that would be inland rather than the coast, and maybe a chance that there could be one or two of those late in the day, Wednesday into Wednesday night, and maybe slightly more numerous on Thursday.
Okay, well, my grass is burning. I'm sure a lot of people are experiencing the same thing. Miranda said, "Don't you dare try to mow the lawn, at least over the next few days, while we continue to have these exceptionally dry conditions. Hopefully, we'll get a shower or thunderstorm to moisten things up a little bit, if not later Wednesday or Thursday, and then things turn nice again for Friday and the start of the weekend."
I would say probably that there's no danger of you saying, "No, Renata, I really want to do the lawn," right? Uh, the
Well, you can see the brown patches.
Yes. The rainfall amounts in the Northeast are generally a quarter of an inch or less, although we do have some areas inland in upstate New York and also through a good chunk of Pennsylvania where we're looking at a half to three quarters. Then it picks up a little bit as you go into the Southeast, three quarters of an inch to an inch and a quarter, with an area of an inch and a half to 2.5 inches over North Georgia, Southeast Tennessee, and northwestern South Carolina, as well as western North Carolina. We'll see how that plays out. If the radar's right, maybe I will get that over the next 7 days. You can also see half to three quarter inch to an inch amounts across the Gulf states and in Florida, parts of Oklahoma, inch and a half plus amounts from Minnesota into Wisconsin, and nothing much really to speak of out in the West. So the only thing I noticed that there was a change today is that we've got this frontal boundary that's going to be moving east on Wednesday and getting close. Okay, and I got the European up, and you can see the shower and thunderstorm activity that it bubbles up during the afternoon and evening, then it kind of dies off. The front looks like it hangs around on Thursday, and that might set off maybe some other thunderstorms later Thursday into Thursday evening. But the next high that's building into eastern Canada does not appear to be as strong as what was being modeled just a few days ago. So I don't know how much impact you're going to have on temperatures. We may still be getting temperatures getting up close to 90 away from the coast after that front goes by on Friday and also probably over the weekend. So we might some places may be putting together a lengthy streak of 90 plus degree highs that began yesterday.
Well, I guess you could say that is a possibility. I could see by some of the longer range maps, though, that Joe, that there'll be more of an impact in terms of cooler temperatures beginning about the middle or latter part of next week, not this week, but next week. So if you want to wait that long, and I forgot who asked on the chat board about the Drought Monitor and saying that parts of the tri-state area are back to abnormally dry conditions, and it's true. They have Westchester County and all of Long Island in the yellow, the DO or abnormally dry category, but everywhere else, Staten Island, New York City, Rockland, Westchester County, Dutchess, Ulster, Sullivan County, all in the white, no problems, no drought worries or no drought condition, although, again, if it stays this way for another few more days, we may see the abnormally dry conditions spread across portions of southeastern New York. But right now, only Long Island and Westchester County apparently are in the abnormally dry category at this moment in time.
Do you have Burler Jeopardy, or would you want to wait till tomorrow?
I'll leave it up to you. I have Briller Jeopardy, but if you want to wait until tomorrow night, when we're back on our normal schedule, we could do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's wait till tomorrow night, and because like you said, you got home like 5 minutes before showtime. David Scott asks, assuming the hurricane passes off to the east of Montauk, would it cause any type of welling effect to cool the ocean water temperatures of the South Shore? If it takes a track offshore, you're going to have wave action, and you're going to have upwelling. So if we assume that this is going to have an offshore track and never really impact any land, I would say yes, there will be some impact to the coastal waters. Would you not agree?
I agree, absolutely. You could have if you have like a Cat 3 storm as far as 500 or 750 miles off of the coast, I mean, way out to sea, you're still going to get significant rip current, undertow, swells, a lot of action when you have a storm that intense, even at a pretty good distance away. And if you bring it in closer, oh, well, then you may even be talking about, you know, even under a bright sunny sky, you could be
Right.
talking coastal flooding and even a bit of beach erosion.
All right. So, again, just to sort of reinforce the idea, folks, don't get too wrapped up in all of this because, if you spend all week long looking at this and looking at this and looking at this, and then winds up being a fish storm, then you're going to have like you're going to have that whoosh letdown. You're like putting all that energy into something, right now, it's so far away. Um, and you know all we can really do is just kind of look at what models are doing and figuring out how the upper air is shaping up. The one thing I will say from what I've been seeing today is that um, there's going to be a northwest flow into southeastern Canada and New England. If that holds, there's an upper low that's east of Labrador. If that holds, and we don't get any kind of weird thing happening out to our west, where there's some sort of lagging shortwave in the Appalachians, this thing will wind up recurving. But again, we've got days to watch to see what the models do. And in the meantime, just mark your calendar for tomorrow at 7:35 p.m. as we come back to do our show at our regular time.
And I never thought of that, but you were absolutely right when we started this show off commenting that, you know, David Muir on ABC National Evening News, talking already about Erin, thousands of miles away. But you're right, 30, 40, 50 years ago, it wouldn't even be a blurb on the news.
I would say even 20, even maybe 15 or 20 years ago, as recently as that. Maybe they would start mentioning things as they would get close. But again, I go back to what I said earlier, which is the fact that you would never really get any kind of mention until maybe if there was a tropical storm or a hurricane watch up. And you don't have that. And by the way, for those of you who live in and around the Gulf of Mexico, uh, this ain't going to you. Okay, there's nothing there in the Gulf to worry about. And what the other place I would just kind of maybe if I lived alone in the southeast, I might have it in the back of my mind to keep a little bit of an eye on this. But again, not to waste too much energy. And actually, the Hurricane Center on the outlooks mentions what's been going on in the Gulf with respect to the clouds and showers that have been there for days, and they have a 0% chance of this developing. They've highlighted something out at 40 and 50, at 60, which is some leftover non-tropical low that formed off the southeast coast over the weekend. They've got that as a 10 and 10, and then another X in the central Atlantic, which they have as a 0 and 0% chance of development. So really, it's only Erin that's on the map right now, and we will, we'll keep you abreast of what's going on when we come back tomorrow night at 7:35 p.m. So everybody have a great evening and a great Tuesday, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
Good night, folks. See you tomorrow.